Hi. So I'm really having a hard time. I don't like to go live because, there's people there and then um, my focus just goes everywhere and on everything, which I do my best, but I just can't handle that right now. So I'm trying to do videos, which then are very awkward for me too, which, usually I just dance and I just can't do that either. I don't know what's going on here with my can't. When I can, I can, but I can't. It just doesn't make sense. But anyway, see, I can't even come on like every day. Oh, well, that's the wrong book. Anyway, let's read out this. I'm gonna do a little reading here. My wonderful Emmanuel. So, what do we need to hear? In your joy, you're celebrating God. You're celebrating the feast of life. This is not something to be denigrated on the grounds that there is more to life than pleasure. Certainly there is more. There is an infinity of more. One is never finished with the process of growth, of seeking, serving, loving. The delights of the physical world are the delights of the spirit world. It is all one. It is all one. Your human joy will not take you away from your love for God. Love is love. Can't buy love. If you cannot tolerate humans' bliss, how will you withstand the bliss of eternal oneness? If you were to check into the consciousness of a rock, you would find a great deal of pleasure there. You would find a sense of oneness that is comforting, a delight in being a rock. In the flow of its being, a rock is in a state of ecstasy. Ecstasy cannot be scaled on a rating from 1 to 10. It is ecstasy. Why are you also suspicious of joy and softness? Is this not also God's world? Joy is a natural ingredient of life. You human beings tend to be hurried and pressured and thereby deny yourself the exquisite pleasure of savoring your lives. In this way, a great amount of joy and sweetness goes unnoticed. If life is lived with care and attention, it will give you the substance and richness that you long for. Allow yourself to renew your commitment to your lives and to yourselves many times a day. You feel that because you yearn for the warmth and the softness of life, that this will somehow lull you into inactivity. Must there always be a harsh outer reality to remind you of God? Must there be? If you cannot trust the beauty where you find it, how can you open your heart to the oneness with God, which is eternal beauty? Would it not be more suited to the inner Would it not be more suited to the inner longing of each soul to envision eternal consciousness as a gentle laugh rather than a serious contemplation? Life is only ponderous when you are not connected to the everlasting joy. A great deal of solemnity, like your solo, so, serves no function. You need to laugh, you need to play, each in his own way. Childlike qualities are godlike qualities in their spontaneity. And joy, even the foolishness and the fun, the dancing, the love, the surrender, the abandon, the lightness are part of growing, pulsating human being. That is a blessing to your world. God did not design pain and suffering. Resistance designed pain and suffering. God's will is to light the world with peace, joy, health, and abundance, and with awareness that this is a temporary stopover. Joy is learning. Joy is experiencing without pain. Once you have accepted without question that you exist in eternity as a conscious being, that we in spirit exist, that God exists, then the outer circumstances of your life will lighten perceptibly. You will not create or call to you any darkness or distortion. It does not mean that there will be one section of your geographical earth called Eden, but it means that you will have an awareness of the true meaning of events. As long as you inhabit the physical body, you will be a subject to that physical world. Yet the experience will be totally different. Yet the experience will be totally different. There will be no pain. This is not compromise. It is not saying, well, then I understand I am eternal, and so this agony doesn't mean anything. No, no. You will experience no agony, literally, as well as figuratively and conceptually. This is not rationalization. That would be a trap. It is a total absorption in the truth. Because you see pain and joy through the telescope of past human teachings, you find it difficult to believe that you can exist in a state of joy where pain can be dissolved into the reality of joy without denial. Joy simply alters pain's existence. Oh, joy to the world. You need to know the great power that lies in active visualization. Vision is spiritual reality, and all things that exist in your world first existed in spirit. The concept comes first, then the physical, which is denser matter, follows. Once you challenge your preconceptions, they become misconceptions. The diameters of your awareness expand a wall. For instance, is no longer only a wall, but a bit of moving, vibrating consciousness. Anything that can be envisioned can be brought into your physical reality. Whenever the feeling comes over you that you have no choices, I urge you to call a halt to everything. Halt. That's what needs to be done right now. Halt to everything. Just halt. Which I think it is, but still, I don't particularly need a halt. I just need a movement that's comfortable. I think. I don't know. I'm lost. Okay. This is a trick you play on yourselves to avoid having to assume the responsibility and therefore the joy of life. Envision instead that it is you truly, instead, what it is you truly want. Test it. Be careful of this, my friends, because if you envision something quite casually and do it with conviction, even though you may not be sure you want it, it will manifest. Well, then why the fuck hasn't my vision manifested? Because I sure as fuck had a lot of faith. I don't know. It's good vision, too. It's written down, and it came from higher power, my God, or whatever. It certainly isn't something I would come up with, but being I was going to massage therapy school, and it was my first assignment in professional development, even, I had professional development class skills. See how it helped me? Well, anyway, that first homework assignment, I sit there for ever, so like, I didn't even have it done when it was due. I didn't have it written anyway. I had to have it written by somebody else because you know how I write, and text is about the same in writing too, you know what I mean? Makes no sense. But it makes perfect sense if you can read between the lines, I guess, or just read it in one big line. How you used to go and just read it all in one big line all the way across the screen. It didn't go down, 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 down. Yeah, that's when you need apostrophes and paragraphs. But if it's just one long sentence, you'll get it. Yeah. I don't know why they changed that. I have no idea. Anyway, my vision, I failed miserably. No married couple is getting back together. No happiness, no love, no any of this. Why? I don't know. I don't know. Wish I knew. Anyway, where was that? You have designed your life yourself. You have created nothing in your outer reality that is stranger to you. The inestimable joy of human manifestation is to see around you in what seems to be outer circumstances what you truly believe as a soul. Look at your physical manifestations as a symbol and view your body as an extension of your soul, the spoken word of your being. Your life is not your master, it is your child. So your life is the child. Your joy of creation must not be limited to humankind. There is, for instance, a great deal of employment in consciousness, creating a portion of itself in the form of other beings that exist in your world. What delight you would experience in creating from your own consciousness a beautiful flower, what pleasure, too, a sleek cat, or a monstrous elephant. I am not being fanciful here. I am explaining the way consciousness creates its own self for exploration. So, where in the consciousness of the universe there is the proclivity to experience oneself as a flower, then a flower evolves. Since you are in human form, it is understandably difficult to think of yourself as having consciousness beyond your humanness and still choosing to create a portion of yourself as a lesser being. So I will put that aside and let your imagination play. You are, or you can create for yourself a garden of bliss if you believe in it, and you can create for yourself intolerable suffering if you believe that it's necessary. This is not intellectual. None of you wants to suffer, but there are belief systems that are handed down from generation to generation that perpetuate these beliefs. It would be interesting for you to speak to the oldest member of your family and ask them about the family superstitions and the beliefs. What is the structure within which you have lived your life? It will be illuminating. And working for material things is working for material things a hindrance to our spiritual purpose? Not if you see material things as materialized consciousness. When one is in the material world, one must have food and clothing, and one desires a home that is beautiful and comfortable and a place to be. There are some accoutrements of self-love. When self-love is truly acknowledged, you will not deny yourself any of those things. Self-love will open your hands to receive as well as to give. And certainly it is not taking something away from someone else. Your universe is boundless. There is more than enough for everybody and everyone. How does one take it in that the bounty that is there? What does one do to deserve opulence? You think this is not a difficulty? Wait and see. Until such a time when you have mastered the art of receiving, you must supply yourself with the material necessities. If you can release your guilt about money and accept it as a part of the divine universe and physical reality of your earth, you will see that it has no more or less power than you give it. It is a necessity. You all hold the sense of money too tightly. That people like me that don't have money have to kind of suffer, Because if you don't have money, then you're neglecting something or whatever the fuck. Sometimes I don't ask for success on this physical plane because it feels like I should find joy in what is here and now, and I get confused about wanting for myself. Do you have any feelings on this, Emmanuel? I have very strong feelings on that. There is a misconception permeating spiritual practice that says you must want nothing in order to have everything. If that is taken in the context in which it was given, the want that is referred to there is greed. However, when there is desire to taste the abundance of your world and to receive it with love, I see no reason at all why you should not have it. There is only conflict where you believe there is a separation between the bounty in your world and the bounty of God's love. When you had a body, what did you do for a living, Emmanuel? In my last incarnation, I was someone very much like you, with one exception. In that, I followed my heart with one shred of guilt, or shredded, without one shred of guilt, regret, or fear. I became a teacher, and I walked around your world, and I allowed myself to be touched with love, and I gave it back wherever I could. I'll tell you something else. I was rich, not perhaps in the coinage that is so rigidly associated with wealth, but I was rich, and I never went a day without enough to eat. I never went a night without a wonderful place to sleep. I had my home, I had my work, and I had my integrity. And that's the most important thing: is your dignity, your moral value. I guess maybe I don't know. You dear souls walk so cautiously as you enter the Garden of Eden. Don't you know that it's your rightful home? There is such fear when the thought of complete fulfillment comes into the consciousness. You are so identified with the seeking and the finding becomes a threat. Indeed, it is most difficult. It is the most difficult thing in the entire human experience to claim yourself, your life, and your light, and your truth, and your God. Every chance that you get along your way, sit in as much light as you can. Find as much joy and pleasure as you are able, at no one's expense, of course, for that is not pleasure. Push no one else out of the way, for that is pain, but go where there is real pleasure, the pleasure of self-recognition and love, pleasure of seeing another with gentleness and compassion. There are the real and abiding pleasures, physical, physical, physicality, can be pleasurable. Sexuality can be pleasurable when there is love. The ultimate challenge to the illusion is love. So love yourself. Love others as you love yourself. You certainly cannot love, or you certainly can't love any more than that, because love is love. And once it's there, it spreads out evenly in all directions. Celebrate your life, bring pleasure into it wherever you can, and see that pleasure as truth, not as some secret sin. For if you judge pleasure in the context of the illusion, then you lose the pleasure, and it keeps you in the schoolroom longer, which that's what we're in, a schoolroom. It truly does. For you see, suffering is not the way to light and to the heaven. Pleasure is real pleasure, not false pleasure. And you all know the difference. You all know when you fail yourself, you make yourself sick. You do foolish things, you become destructive, then you know you have betrayed yourselves. That's about where I am, I think. Sounds about right. How can I do that to myself, because I don't like myself anymore. When you begin to blossom and glow and dance down the street, that's what I used to do, just because you are happy, not because I was happy, but I guess I was. And you know the illusion is your creation, here for your own education, and you can alter any time you want, simply by the act of self-love. Then you are free. It's all free. Free. You are preparing your pathway home whenever you are ready to come. In the meantime, you are teaching many others the absolute truth of God's existence. And you and I, all of us, yes, us, all of us, have a great deal of work to do. But it is not to be arduous. It is to be in pleasure. It is to be pleasure. And when it is not, please don't feel noble. Don't feel that somehow you are doing it right because it is difficult. Stop at the very moment the pleasure leaves you and say, what have I forgotten? And if you are centered and in truth, the answer will be, oh, I have forgotten that I am God. then you will take that remembering back into your human experience and you will dance again. Oh, I'm God, so and then I can dance again? Really? This body will let me do that? And we in spirit will dance with you. Then the task of fulfilling God's plan of salvation will go very quickly, for God is love, and love only. And pleasure is love, and joy is love, and truth is love, and all things are light. You will find that out. Whether you believe me now or not, soon enough, for you will grow through this lifetime, and you will age, and you will die. And I cannot imagine saying a more pleasant and encouraging thing to you. For if you were to remain in this illusion, I cannot tell you how unhappy you would be, even though at the moment you believe you really want to. You will stay until you feel that until your task is done, and until your lessons are learned, and then we will all begin again in some other dimension to create in the name of God. God bless you. Jesus loves you. I love you. We all love you. Anyway, yeah, I'm having a hard time, just that everyday thing. I should be able to just bring it on here and help that way, but something's stopping me. I don't know. I don't understand what's going on. It's like, is this something that's inside of me, or is it something that is outside of me? That makes me not do those things that comes about and say, oh hey, go feed the chickens or something, or whatever. Like having no life makes it hard to know what you really got to do, I guess, besides, take care of your child, or, you know what I mean? Or you'll be with your child, but then when you do, it's like, oh man, it hurts for some reason. I don't know. Can't explain it. Anyway, hope everyone's doing okay. Hope you enjoyed. Love you. Sorry for my lack. It is what it is, right? Trying to get over it. I'm having a very, very, very hard time. But I'm getting less and less, I guess, angry. That anger mark. I don't know. It'll never come out of my head. I would have to have like plastic surgery to get that L right out of there. I love you. Have a good one.